Josh, I tell you what, it seems like the conversation has been either it's Joe Milton or there's a quarterback competition, or that's pretty much it. And I think right now it's Joe Milton. But would it be crazy to have a Nico package? Because there are probably some things that he can do slightly better or different, and you get him ready moving forward. Is that insane to think that you could kind of have this situation where Tim Tebow played a little bit? I'm not saying he's going to go in there and do jump passes and stuff, you know that, but that you might have something for Nico early in the season in meaningful time, or is best case scenario he's just purely a garbage time quarterback?
I would think it's more likely he's a garbage time quarterback. If Josh Heupel sees something that's obviously different and can be a wrinkle they throw in that will help them succeed, then I'm not going to question Josh Heupel, who's one of the better offensive coaches in the country. But also, how much do you want to change things up if you're in some kind of a rhythm, if things are going well for you offensively, and take Joe Milton off the field and risk the possibility of affecting him negatively? Nico has an incredible skill set. His ability to move with the football, his ability to throw on the run, his ability to stand in there. It's one of the. It's got to be. I mean, I can't imagine there's a taller quarterback combination. A couple of 6'5", 6'6" guys out there. So standing in the pocket, making plays, it can be as simple as that, and they're going to have a ton of success. But Nico has natural playmaking ability with his legs. I think short yardage situations could be something that they look at with Joe Milton. So, you know, like Tebow, when you bring up the jump pass down around the goal line, is Nico a better threat there than Joe? I wouldn't think so. Also, not that you play scared, but I wouldn't want to risk getting my backup quarterback hurt in a special package, which might include him on the move. And then all of a sudden you're down to one scholarship quarterback, your starter. So I would lean toward no, but if they find a package where they can protect the quarterback and he can make plays and it works, well, then I'm not going to question Josh Heupel trying to go in that direction.
That would be really interesting because, sorry to interrupt, Caleb, but I will just say that I think the fans deep down, they're not saying this because they want success for Joe Milton, but I'm just basing this off our YouTube channel. And it was about 10 times the viewers. I know YouTube can be YouTube, Josh, but about 10 times the viewers of Nico's interview than Joe Milton. And I sense that Joe Milton got a little sick of answering some questions about how ready he is. Maybe that's just the time of the year. But Caleb, go ahead, sir.
So Josh and Dave, because you guys have both been – Dave, I know you can do both of these, and Josh, I know you can do one. You can probably do both too. I'm trying to look at the hype behind Nico because of what Dave just brought up. As a freshman quarterback behind a senior where the freshman got this much hype despite being the projected backup. Now, you can't say Trevor Lawrence because he ended up winning the job anyway. But how does the Nico Joe situation compare to Tim Tebow, Chris Leak in 2006? And also, here's a throwback one, Eli Manning, Romero Miller in 2000.
Oh, wow.
How does Nico Joe compare to those two?
Josh, I would start with saying the Florida, that very different skill set between Leak and Tebow, which played to their advantage.
Yeah, that's why that worked so well. Those two guys were so different, and Urban Meyer's offense was able to take advantage of Tebow's skill set in a very specific way while he continued to develop to get ready to be the guy the following season. Boy, was he ready. Went out and won the Heisman. The thing to me here is, like, there is a ton of excitement around Nico. I do wonder, in terms of comparing this week, Media Day, excitement of hearing or seeing what Nico has to say versus Joe, is fans have seen and heard from Joe a lot this summer, either through hype videos or meeting with the media. He was just at SEC Media Days a week and a half ago. So what really was there different for him to talk about compared to when he met with the media in Nashville? And he's done other media obligations while Nico's not been heard from since the end of the spring. But the potential of Joe on the field this season is about as high as anybody in the country. I mean, it was just last week that you have the Jordan Rodgers quotes floating around talking about he has, now I'm paraphrasing, but his talent or upside is just head and shoulders above everybody else in the country. Like Caleb Williams came back from winning the Heisman and is a projected number 1 pick. And Drake May is a projected top 5 pick. So the potential for Joe, again, if it's upside, it's everything coming together, but it's him being a first-round pick. Like when we talk about the other quarterbacks that either Tebow's trying to replace, and Leak was he's a highly touted guy, go back to his Tennessee recruitment, and was a good quarterback. They won a national championship with him, but people weren't talking first-round pick with Chris Leak as a quarterback, and everybody knew Eli was the guy. It was just a matter of when does he take over, and to bring up Trevor Lawrence replacing Kelly Bryant. Kelly Bryant was a nice college quarterback. Trevor Lawrence was a projected number 1 pick. Joe Milton is being talked about as a potential first-round pick. His upside is that of, he was preseason All-SEC. So I still think fans are really excited about what he can do. They want to see those 70-yard bombs to Dante Thornton and Squirrel White. And I think fans, along with people inside the building at Tennessee, are hoping Joe explodes himself, has a huge season, is a high NFL draft pick, and then he hands the keys over to Nico next year. But if they get a chance to see Nico, they're not going to complain about that. There was a loud applause when he made his debut in the orange and white game a few months ago. So I'm not taking away from fan excitement about Nico, but I would steer clear of saying fans are not excited about Joe. I'm sensing a lot of excitement about Joe Milton from Tennessee's fans too.
Let's play a little role play game. How about that, Josh? Then we'll let you out of here. Okay. So
role play with the hooker. Love it.
Yes. Role play with a hooker. It's like 20% extra. So here we go, Josh. So when do you get this call? Hey, Josh, how you doing today? You said
every day.
Huh?
Okay. Yeah. Keep going.
No, we're not done. Hey, Josh, I love listening to the show. First time caller. How you doing today? You're supposed to say good.
Oh, yeah. Good. How are you doing?
I'm great. My name is Bob up in Sweetwater. And my question is, why don't they just give Nico a shot after the way Joe's played? Does that happen in September if you had to bet a mortgage payment on it?
One person? Yeah.
One?
Yeah. I would.
It's how good your call screener is.
Yeah, like Tennessee could beat Florida, I don't know, 35-14, and Joe has a really nice day, and then Nico has a couple of scoring drives late, 42-14, whatever, and we'd probably get there's something with that Nico. Should we go ahead and yeah? So I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. But if the offense just goes out there and hums against Virginia, heck, if it's Bowling Green-ish against Virginia, then we'll probably get that call on Monday, Saturday night, Sunday morning, probably so. But that doesn't mean the coaching staff is going to think that. They're going to like, we'll never know how long Joe's opportunity was going to last in 2021. Like, were they going to make a change in that game, or were they going to let him play it out? I don't know what the answer to that question is, but will there be a fan or 2 or 10 that are waiting for the first chance to say, let's give it to Nico? I'm sure, but I don't think that's Tennessee's thought right now, or will be at the start of the season. I think it's going to have to be obvious to them that, hey, we got to think about something else.
Yeah.
Well, if you get one caller, you will have had already 15,000 tweets. And if Tennessee punts, the first time Tennessee punts against Virginia, how many tweets are there going to be about bringing in Nico?
Yeah.
Vol Twitter is the biggest overreacting Twitter fan base in the country.
Yeah, because remember here, they have 2 scholarship quarterbacks. With all due respect to Gaston Moore, they have 2 scholarship guys. If you switch from Joe to Nico, you're making that switch early. We just spent time last week talking about Joe's admission of questioning himself. Is he still the leader? Is he still? So you just can't do that. If you're making the move to Nico, it has to be obvious you make the move to Nico. It's not, well, let's just change things up and create a midseason quarterback competition. And remember Team Ainge versus Team Clausen? That was great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good move. Yeah. So
Sure.
You don't
I'm a Jonathan Crompton, Nick
Stevens,
Stevens, BJ Coleman guy myself.
Carl brought up a good point. He said, when does he get sick of answering? Will you still overthrow? When are you going to crash and burn? And what do you ask him from SEC Media Days till now. I asked him if he was going to see Oppenheimer or Barbie. He didn't know what either of those movies were. So I guess I could ask him this week, did you see Oppenheimer or Barbie? Have you seen either, by the way, Josh?
I've 3 kids 5 and under. You think I've been to the theater to see Oppenheimer or Barbie? No, I have not.
Do you even know where the theater is nowadays?
Yeah, I've seen Toy Story 2 4 times in the last 7 days.
Oh, Lord.
So
Great movie. That's a really sad
it's
movie.
wonderful. Yeah, we're on a real Buzz and Woody kick at the house right now, which is great.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest parent in the world, but I would not take your kids that are 5 and under to see Oppenheimer.
We are planning a Godfather run 1 and 2.
Oh,
and
nice.
We'll do that before football season kicks in.
Start with 2 and confuse any theory they have in time.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, the first time I ever watched Godfather 2, I started with disc 2, and I had no idea what was going on. I realized, it's a 2 disc. I started. That's true.
Godfather 2, Empire Strikes Back, the 2 best sequels, and Rocky 2. I would take that. Josh, thank you. Have a fantastic day and afternoon, and go ahead and take those calls. Nico, it's Bob from Eastridge, and I think he needs to be a starter.
Long time, first time.
Long time, first time. See you, man.
Hanging up.
Josh Ward. I'll hang up and listen to the Sports Animal from noon to 3. Yeah, Josh will be getting those calls.
So Star Wars nerd here. I love Empire Strikes Back. I think it's amazing what they did with the writing because it's one of the most greatest twists in cinema history. And the opening is great. The ending is great. But someone brought up the other day, Empire Strikes Back is only the most acclaimed because it opens strong and it ends strong. But the middle is actually kind of weak.
There's some truth to that. Yeah, I agree. But I think Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1, and I think Rocky 2 is better than Rocky 1. And that's the only 3 situations where I can think a sequel is
Dark Knight is better than Batman Begins. And
okay. I almost think of those as separate
most
movies.
superhero
sequels. I know they are sequels, but I almost think of them as separate movies, if that makes
sense.
Well,
with superhero movies, the second one is usually better because they spend the whole first one introducing the characters.
I know, and if you're a comic book nerd like me, you know the backstory.
Yeah, exactly.
I know who Lois Lane is. I know
Spider-Man 2 was better than Spider-Man.
He was bitten by a spider. Okay, We've got to go through this whole thing. I've sat bored in theaters to great movies that have been produced, and it's simply because they're going down that storyline that I read when I was 6 years old.